your grief therapist. I'm just coming back from podcasting, coming back from recording from the studio. And y'all, I'm just really, really enjoying my podcast audience, the GRIP audience, Grieve in Peace audience. And thank you so much for being here. All the grievers out there, if you don't know my history, I started out doing audio only. And my audio podcast was Surviving Sibling Loss, the Forgotten Mourners podcast. I did that for since 2019 and stopped doing the audio only and went to podcasting on YouTube somewhere in 20 into 21, 22, something like that. So I just wanted to tap in to let you know about that history. And if you are a creative out there, just know that somebody will find your podcast and try to borrow or even steal. I've had an incident of someone who followed me and I did not realize that they were following me, and they named their podcast something similar to mine, very similar. Only thing that was not a part of their podcast name was the Forgotten Mourners podcast. That's the only part of the podcast name that they did not have. They had the other half of my name. And that was somewhat weird to me because when I started this podcast in 2019, I searched, like I did my due diligence. I searched all up and down the internet and YouTube about having any other podcasts with my name, with the name that I was thinking, and I didn't find anything. So it wasn't anything out there pre-COVID. There was nothing out there about surviving sibling loss pre-COVID. So I started with my phone, me in my kitchen, talking, saying all the things that I needed to say. And I kept doing it. I did it like once a month and then started going on YouTube. Then found out that, they found out somewhere around like 2022 this person was was following me on TikTok, found me on TikTok, and I found out they were actually in my private group on Facebook. I didn't find that out until like 23 or something. So yeah, and I was like, I didn't know this person was even in my group. Like I had no clue they were in my group. So I even asked people and made sure that I wasn't going crazy. Like, should I delete this person? Should I say something about them kind of stealing my name? And I did end up saying something to this person, but I wanted to be gentle. I wanted to be really gentle because I'm a surviving sibling. They're also a surviving sibling, right? And I didn't want to go off and be like, hey, you took my name. I'm da da da. I didn't want to do that. But because I want people, hi. I don't know what WS10, hi, who are you? But that is crazy. But I didn't know that, I didn't know, I didn't know that people would steal like that. And that was my first real incident of people stealing like intellectual property. But I found them on TikTok, or they found me on TikTok and added me as a friend on TikTok. And when I saw the name, I was like, oh, I looking double. Like, how in the world is that? Is that me? Is that my, like, how in the world? And then when I slid in their DMs, I was like, hey, that's my name. And they were like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I decided to leave it at that, right? And I did ask them at one point if they wanted to collaborate. I did ask and I didn't hear anything back, but I did end up deleting them from one of my social medias because what I realized was whenever I posted in my social media group, which was private, whenever I posted something I was going to do, that person ended up doing it too. So one of the things that I had in my private group was, hey y'all, I decided one day that on my podcast in the thumbnail I was gonna have my picture And then all of the people that all of the people that you just got me all messed up. But anyway, so people just be coming on here on live just saying anything. Like they weren't raised right. So um so on that Facebook group, basically I had an idea and I posted in that Facebook group. And oh, I love Pinky in the Brain. Oh, good one. We used to watch that all the time. That's a really good memory, by the way. We used to watch that all the time. And I quote it all the time. So thanks for that, Michael C. Anyway, so in that group, I didn't realize that that person was in that group, and they took that idea that I posted, and basically all it was I was going to post and I was going to put my guests, I was going to put like a picture of them and their deceased sibling in the thumbnail. And then I found out on their podcast they were doing the same thing. So that was it was crazy. It was crazy. So I ended up deleting them. I deleted. It took me a little too long to do it, to make the decision to do it. But anyway, deleted them, and now I see like they took it off after I deleted them. So I guess they have no more ideas, and they can't funnel through me because they were following me on the group, in a private group. So anyway, so that was, I've never in my wildest dream thought anybody would try to steal from me. And I've been holding that for a couple of years now. But I've now since changed the name of my podcast and gotten everything with trademarks and all of that stuff. And then working on my website and things of that nature. So anyway, thanks for following. This is a little longer than I thought. And yeah, happy Mother's Day to you all tomorrow. My mom is not in the country, and so I won't be celebrating with my mothers tomorrow. And all of you all who are grievers, if you are grieving the loss of your mom, we're thinking about you. And I may go live tomorrow to talk about Mother's Day. And for people who are in grief, any questions, any answers that you guys need from a grief therapist perspective, I can be available tomorrow evening. All right, I think that's all. Thanks for watching. Hi, everybody. And follow the Grip Spots on YouTube. If you're a griever, know somebody who's a griever or supporting a griever, send them over to my podcast page. All right, bye.